here's a really cool worldly map that was created that I want to just basically show why I believe in the security industry. We're going to have a massive paradigm shift in the next, not just paradigm shift, we're going to have a massive evolution in the next 3, 6, 12, 24 months. I think it's more of a case of who gets there first. It's literally, it's a if not a when, and some companies might get lucky because there's less movement in the areas, and others might be completely accelerated, and depends a lot what they do. So what's really cool about this map is that we were just doing the typical worldly map of needs from executives. This I think was on risk management and risk sort of how you manage organizations. So you can see we got the top level risk exploits, the P&L and compliance, which is one interesting way to see the executives. Fundamentally, they care about the P&L, the compliance, and then we were mapping their risk appetite. And then here you have acceptance risk, risk acceptance is a big thing for me right now. Risk transfer mitigation. You can kind of come down, and then you got reporting, asset management, etc. What was interesting is that we end up connecting a lot of these to these security LLMs, which are very custom built. The big difference, and this is the key thing, and this is why Worldly Maps allows us to understand what happens next, is that 6 months ago, this LLM bit was way over here, was basically very immature. So you could argue that, well, yeah, you can build security language models, but it wouldn't scale because you didn't have basically the capabilities and the foundation and also the scale. And you almost had to build your own LLMs like ChatGPT equivalents in order to pull it off. It's not to say that it wasn't fully possible, but it was really hard. And in a way, you can argue that these LLMs in the past was pushing this guy a bit to the left. So this was even more to the genesis than he was than is now. What has happened is because of cloud infrastructure, because of the big developments, and of course you could expand why LLMs have also, you could just do a graph on LLMs, but now they're all the way to the right. So what's going to happen is you're going to see a massive push from security LLMs, i.e. even custom versions of them, evolving in the next 3 to 6 to 12 months. And what it means is they're going to have a massive impact in all these areas, from SOC tools to monitoring, to risk awareness, to risk registers, SOC controls, reporting, risk frameworks, all of this, right? And now the only two interesting plays that companies in this space or teams, even security teams in this place, is they can either double down on what they do right now, hoping that they'll be able to leverage the security LLMs when they come along, or they really focus on the security LLMs and make sure they are the one disrupting their market, so they leverage the knowledge that they still have and the relationships that they still have. But they risk becoming like Blockbuster, where something came along very fast. Maybe an analogy here is that imagine if broadband went from here to there in 6 months or in 3 months, and that's kind of what has happened. Broadband killed Blockbuster, but it did it slowly a bit, right? Which is why they could have played very differently. So this is kind of why I feel that there's a lot of innovation going to happen here, and I think there's a lot of amazing things that we always want to do in security that it was simply not possible. There's lots of things from identity access management, threat modeling, analysis, stakeholder management, all sorts of things that in the past, even vulnerability assessment, of course, application security practices, that I always, had a worry in the back of my mind that says this doesn't scale without massive teams, doesn't scale without massive evolutions, and the technology usually wouldn't help.